Okay. So Java methods are functions. So as I mentioned, class is a group of members will be their class inside, right? You have variables, one member, methods is another member, constructors is another member, blocks are also you can write. These are all members of a class inside the class. So we have seen variables. So you are good with variables. Now we are seeing second member of a class, that is methods or functions. A method is a sub-block of a class, so which contains logic. So you will write the logic, what that method has to do. So the method inside, method body inside, you will write the logic. You will build the logic, your own logic you can build. So what that method has to, you can give a definition. Suppose you want to create an addition of two numbers. And you will take either parameterized method or you will declare global variables. Those variables you will use inside the method body and you will do a plus b. And that output you will store in the another variable, local variable or a global variable. It's up to you, right? So such kind of logic you can build inside the method body. So always logic must be placed inside the method body only, not directly at a class level. You cannot write logic. So at class level, it must be inside the method body. So that's mandatory. Make sure you taken care of that. So we place a logic inside the method body, and you should not place at a class level. If you place, it will throw compile time error. So basically, what will be the logics? So like simple your calculations or print statements. So method calls, one method inside another method you can call. So all these consider as a logical statements. You can create objective, you can call the methods, you can write expressions, you can write your own computation statements. So these are all calculations you can build inside the method body. So that's the method body, what will be there in the logic. So what is the syntax of a method? Access modifier, any keywords like static or non-static keywords, return type. So what return type means, I already told, either void or without void. So that's a return type. Then method name, parenthesis, curly bracket, and write the body inside a logic. Then method body ends. Method body starts here, method body ends here. Every method should start with a curly bracket, should end with a curly bracket. Once your method is done, you must close that. If you are not closing and you are writing another method inside the method, it's wrong. So you should not do that. So that's why you follow these syntaxes, you won't make mistakes. You want to create another method, again start. After this method, you start again. Access modifier, keyword, return type, method name, parenthesis, curly bracket, write the syntax, curly bracket ends. Then there are some parts, okay? All these parts, let's understand. Method prototype. So this head portion of the method is called method prototype. The head portion of the method is called method prototype. And that's what public static void main, this is a method prototype. Or this one is called method prototype. So method body and logic. So the body means the curly braces reason is called method body. And the statements placed inside the method body is called logic. And third part, Very important one. Method parameters and arguments. Crucial. This is a very, very important step. What is mean by method parameters? See the definition. The variables declared in method parentheses. Again repeating. What is mean by parameters? The variables declared in method parentheses are called parameters. So what is the variable declaration syntax? Yesterday I told you. What is the variable declaration?
Access modifier.
No, I'm not talking about static or non-static. Simple. Very simple variable.
Data type variable.
That's it. So data type variable is the simple declaration. If you declare in the parentheses, those are called parameters. Just a data type variable name, if you declare, that is called parameter. Parameter syntax is data type variable name, where you can declare in the parentheses inside. Those are called parameters. We can define a method with 0 to n number of parameters. A method can be 0 parameters. A method can be 1 or 2 or 3 and so on, n. Based on your requirement, you can declare parameters. The arguments, what is meant by arguments? The values passing to those parameters are called arguments. When you will pass the values for those parameters, so first you will define the method with the parameters. After method definition, when you want to execute that method, then you will call the method. While calling the method, you will give each parameter value. You remember in our mathematics, we did a plus b whole square, all this. So whenever you want to execute, you will give a value, b value, right? Same way here also. And you will just provide those values to the parameter when you call the method. Wherever you are calling the method, there you will give parameter values. So that's the called arguments. So in method invocation, we must pass arguments according to the parameters order and data type. So how to pass the parameter? Can you give it randomly? No. What order you declared the parameters, same order you have to give, same data type value you have to give. Suppose you declared an integer parameter, first int a, and the second one float b. You cannot give first float value, and you cannot give integer value next. No. First you have declared the order. A you declared as an integer. So first a value you either 5 or 10 integer number. B you declared as a float. Okay, give float value. Second value. 1.5, 2.2, 3.4, like that. Floating value you have to. Based on the type of parameter, same type value you have to provide while calling the method invocation. Are we clear? The syntax of parameterized method is access modifier, keywords like a static or a non-static. Okay. Return type with void or without void. Method name, you give any method name. So I told you method naming conventions. You must follow that method naming conventions. Bracket. See, this is the one. Data type, parameter 1. If you want to create one more parameter, comma, data type parameter 2, comma, data type parameter 3, and so on. So how many you want, you declare. You take decision. So, okay, for this method, how many parameters you need? So inside the logic, you must use these parameters. In your calculation here, you will write a calculation part, right? That calculation must use these parameters. Must use these parameters in the calculation. If you're not using, don't declare parameters. See here, access modifier, I used public. Then keyword, I used static. Then return type, I have used void. That means my method is not going to return anything. Just executes, add. So the first data type place, what I kept? Integer. Then what is the parameter place I kept? A, comma. So next is data type. Second data type is a float. B. That means B data type is a float. A data type is a integer. Then I must use, see, I have used A and B in my calculation, A plus B. This output I am storing where? In the sum. So integer or float, if you do a sum, what is the output you will get? Float or integer?
Float.
Float. That's why right left hand side, my sum data type is a float. So based on the right hand side output, you can declare no left hand side what data type you want for this variable. So that's the simple example with the parameterized method. How to call this method? In the main method, I'm calling in the main method. I want to execute this. I want to execute this. See here, I didn't give values here. You should not give values here. Here, just parameter names only you have to use while definition time. While defining the method, you must use the parameters only. You should not give values there. Values will be replaced while running the program. So while calling the method, see, I'm calling the method. How I am calling? This is a static method. This is also static method. I can call this method directly, right? So the method name I just told you just before we're coming to the methods topic. So this method name I can call directly here. I can call here. See, just calling. Then what I'm doing? I'm providing A value 5, B value 10.5. This is the values you are passing to the parameters. That is called arguments. So this is called method invocation, method calling process. Here you define the method. Here you are calling the method. Same method you can call and give a different values. That is the advantage of parameterized methods. Why you need to create a parameterized method? You want to test one logic with different sets of data, and you have to create with the parameterized methods. See, I can call the same method, but only what is changing here? Values will be changed for the parameters. Are we good? Any questions here?
I'm good, Ramesh.
Thank you. What about others? This is the crucial topic, and if you have to raise your voice if you are not able to understand. So I would say this is the high priority. You have to give more time for this topic. So don't give up until this finishes. I am not going to give up till our entire automation completes. Also, I am not going to give up the methods topic. Then you realize how much importance you need to give for this. This is the highly used topic. Methods creation you should know. how to call them, you should know that. Without this, there is no step at all in the automation. Single line also you cannot write without this methods topic. Every line you will start with the methods only. Either it is a static or a non-static. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you. So you every day you read this topic, no problem, and practice. Okay, next one, fourth topic, method signature. The method name and parameters is called method signature. That means this one, add int a in float b, that's a method signature. Main, so the method signature. Another example I'm giving. Main also one method, but Java created that. It's just one method name, that's it. You can give your own method. You can create your own methods. That's what I'm showing now, how to create your own methods. Method return type. This topic is another very important topic. So what is the return type? How can you tell what is the return type of your method? See that, the definition. This definition, please by heart it. The keyword that is placed before method name is called method return type. So what is that? The definition of method return type means the keyword that is placed before method name is called method return type. Let's see. Can you tell me what is the return type here? Method return type.
Void.
Void. So that is the word, right? Before method name. What is your method name here? Add. What is the method name before? What is the keyword?
Void.
So that's the anything method name before whatever is there, that is the return type. So are you clear? And so that return type tells to the compiler and JVM about the type of value the method has to return after its completion of execution. So method execution after, what it has to return to you. So that will be tell by this return keyword. If method is nothing is returned by the method, that means you are using void keyword there. Your method is not going to return anything. You don't want to return your method. Then what is the keyword you have to use there? Void keyword. No, your method has to return some output to you. You want to use that output somewhere else. Then use without void any other data type. Instead of void, use other data type. Okay, what type of data your method is returning? That data type you write there in that return keyword place. So there are other return keywords you can write, all data types, any data type. So primitive, non-primitive data types, collections, map, class, string, interface, primitive data types. Your method can return any primitive data type or non-primitive data, it can return. So that's why I'm telling if your method is returning this kind of data, so you write that. Or if your method is not returning, just write void. Main method is a void. Why? It is not going to return, just executes the code to you. That's it. That's why they used void for the main method. So we have two types of methods, static method, non-static method. So static method means if a method prototype line contains a static keyword, then that method is called static method. Basically, static method also common to all. It is common to often refer to static methods in Java, so as a class methods. Static members are associated with the class only. So static variables, static methods can also be invoked using the class name. As I mentioned, how you can invoke static variables and static methods in another places with the class name. Class name dot static method, class name dot static variables. So these are some of the very important points you must remember. The static methods of a particular class can only access the static variables and can change them. Static methods of a particular class can only access static variables and it can change the static variable value. Static method can only call another static method. Static methods cannot refer to non-static variables and non-static methods. You cannot call non-static variables, non-static methods inside the static methods. See how clearly points are there. Static methods can't refer to super or this members. This super keywords you should not use inside the static methods. So these are the points very important and you should be very clear on that. So any static method can call any other static method in the same file or any static method in a Java library like a math class. So math class is mainly used for mathematical operations purpose. So math class, every method is a static method only. Variables, pi value also defined in the math class. It's a constant. What is the pi value? Pi value will change every time?
No.
What is the pi value?
3.14.
3.14. It won't change. That's why they made pi as a constant in the pi math class. If you want pi value, just call math.pi. You will get the 3.14 value. Okay. So static method syntax. So this is the one, simple. Access modifier, static, void, method name, parenthesis. So logic. So there are two types of static methods. Non-parameterized static method, parameterized static method. So parameterized static method or non-parameterized means there are no parameters within the parentheses. Then that method is called non-parameterized. So this is the non-parameterized static method syntax. Parameterized static method means a method contains parameters inside the parentheses. Then that method is called a parameterized static method. Access modifier, static, void, method name. So data type P1, comma data type P2, and write the logic. So this is the parameterized static method. If you don't write void keyword, then what is the static method syntaxes? Let's see that. So a static method without void, without parameters. This is the one. Access modifier, static, data type, method name, no parameters. Logic. Then what you are getting extra here? Return keyword and what you want to return. That value. Either variable or value, you write it here. So that's the return type methods. See here, instead of void, what I'm writing here? Data type. So in the body, do you have a return keyword here for void methods? No. But for the without void methods, you have a return keyword. That's a difference. You should clearly observe that differentiation. So here, access modifier, static, data type, method name. So data type P1, comma data type P2, logic, you write return value, curly bracket ends. So that's the how you can write a method without parameters, with parameters, a method with void, without void. So this is the non-static variables and a static method. I'm just calling count plus plus. Can I call non-static variable in the static methods?
No.
What will happen?
Error.
Compile time error. You will get a compile time error. See that? You will get a compile time error. So this is wrong. You cannot do that. See, you will get error here. Compile time error you will get. Okay, so that's a simple examples. So you make it as static, so then you can call. So that's and these are the scenarios are there. Next class we'll see. Sunday we have a class, okay? Sunday evening we have a class, same timings. US Sunday we have a class, and because we are missing on Tuesday, right? On that day, so we will compensate on, or you want so extra 10 minutes every day. So how you want?